Let's talk about confidentiality and disclosure as one of the key points in the professional conduct. I think the most relevant, one of the most relevant things in regard to especially SQ2 assessment. If you could tell us slightly a little bit what is the obligation or the obligations, because two are correlated though with two different.
Obviously we have an obligation to keep all of our clients' information confidential. And even the fact that somebody is one of our clients, for example, we couldn't disclose that we're acting for a particular party without them agreeing to that. In terms of disclosure as well, sometimes there's a bit of an issue in terms of what we can disclose, especially if we have information from one client which may be material to another, and then we have a conflict between our obligations of confidentiality and our obligations of disclosure. And again, we start to get into a lot of difficulties in terms of professional conduct.
But the duty of confidentiality prevails over the duty to disclose,
yes.
Right? You told me that you had some recent experience.
This was something I had to think about quite carefully. I'm working abroad actually in Southeast Asia, and my firm was recently inspected by government authorities. Not for any particular reason. It's a routine inspection that is done for a lot of foreign registered firms. And in fact, it was more to do with compliance and the filing of various things that need to go to government departments. But we were very, very cautious about any potential disclosure of client files or information, compliance with data protection rules as well, because we've just had some new rules implemented in the country I'm in, which are quite strict as well. So there were a lot of things to consider. And I had heard actually within my own industry that somebody in China at a very similar firm had refused to provide any information when inspected and had actually ended up in prison. So again, we had to be quite careful. It's me and another lawyer who are dealing with this, albeit that he's the manager. So a lot of it was on him, which I was a bit thankful for. But it's something we had to approach very cautiously from a professional conduct perspective.
Because it still applies to you. It doesn't matter that you are
absolutely. Yeah. And again, I'd heard a similar case where somebody had been asked at airport security to unlock their laptop, which had client information, and had refused to do so and had been in trouble. What eventually I think had been decided is that the appropriate course of action would have been to have objected to it, but still have complied, and to have had the objection noted.